And the biggest thing I see in first home buyer behavior in particular is a few what I think are mistakes. So as you can see, the stamp duty stops at, I think it's 430. So you're paying no stamp duty as a first home buyer up to 430. So what happens? A lot of first home buyers, they go and try and buy a house for up to 430 because they think, great, I'm saving $1, $10,000, $20,000. Okay, so psychologically, a lot of people stop buying at 430. Now, what's the problem with that? Well, the problem is they end up buying houses that are only worth 430 when perhaps their lending capacity could push them to 500,000 or 600,000. But they focus short term and they think, well, I'm going to save myself 10,000 real dollars. And what happens is they end up with potentially less exciting long-term assets, right? So what can you buy for 430 at the moment? I can tell you right now in Canning Vale, it's nothing. I think we just sold a tiny little 3x2 for 430. Good investment property, but geez Louise, if you're a first home buyer, even having a dog, you're going to outgrow a house like that. Okay, so 430, maybe we can start buying older properties in peripheral suburbs, maybe Gosnells. You can buy places like that, and there's nothing wrong with living in Gosnells. But at the end of the day, if you look at capital growth charts, a lot of buyers, young buyers, put themselves in markets that have less potential, when if they'd pushed themselves and spent $10,000 more, they could have maybe got up to 500,000, and then 500,000 we start to enter new markets. So this is what happens sometimes when we're selling a house like for 450, for example. We have buyers come in, even if their capacity, even if a broker's told them, yeah, you can do 500, they want to cap themselves at 430. And what happens is these buyers miss out on properties they could actually really afford, and they end up months, sometimes longer, later buying assets that will cripple them long term. It cripples their potential long term. If you're trying to build capital growth, if you're trying to build an empire, you know, if you buy an asset that is no growth potential, you're really shooting yourself in the foot, right? So that's something to keep in mind. So I would caution you, or if your friends or family or children or anyone, to basically suffer. This is my advice even to my employees, is to suffer short term for long term gain, as long as you can afford it and a broker tells you to afford it. Okay.